Hey everyone, it's Quarantine. I'm Amy. I use she, her, hers pronouns.
And I'm Mitch, and I use he, him, his pronouns. So I always try to do a random question of the day. So today's random question is, what is a sign of spring that you saw today? For me, it was when I was taking my dog out. There's these little teeny tiny blue flowers called cilia that start to pop up, and they've started popping up in my yard. So that's mine.
I love those. We look at them all the time when we take our dogs out. My sign of spring, well, I just got back from a run and I saw a bunch of people maintaining their social distance, but they were all walking their dogs, and I haven't seen people walking dogs in a long time. So it was super exciting to see that people were taking care of themselves and the community, but also taking care of their pups too.
Love it. You love to see it.
I love a good pup.
We really would love to know what signs of spring you saw too. So down below, you're able to leave comments. And if you want to share with us something you saw today, whether it was like a really chubby robin or just like they're starting to put out solar lamps at the stores and things to put on your deck, those are all really great signs of warmer weather. It's coming eventually.
It is. It's on its way. My windows are open right now.
My door was open earlier. It was real nice, real nice.
Yes.
I got to fix the screen on my porch though. So
That's for another day.
Our topic today that we really wanted to delve into is the circles of control. Now, this is like language that is used across many different types of advocacy and means many different kinds of things. So the specific circles of control I'm talking about are based on this graphic that you see up on the screen. Shout out to the counseling teacher who developed this specific model of circles of control. So circles of control are what we use to look at what are the things that we are able to actively control and what are the things that are not. So the circle of control in the middle is the things that each of us individually are able to control in our own lives, whereas that outer area are the things that kind of go beyond our ability to manipulate or maintain. They're also usually the things that we want to control the most, but it's a really good grounding exercise to focus on what the things are that you can control. So on here, things that you cannot control are like if others follow the rules of social distancing. That's really, really frustrating. It's nice to hear, Amy, that in your neighborhood, people are mostly being pretty good about it. And I live in a very rural area, but I know some people have been seeing like crowds trying to start having parties and things, and that's got to be really frustrating. But that's not something we control.
Yeah. Other things that we can't control are what other people do. Trying to figure out what's going to happen next, or even trying to control other people's lives. It gets really frustrating, and when you feel like you're out of control, the things that you want to be able to have all of the control over the most are usually the things, like Mitch was saying, you can't, which just makes you feel even more out of control. So it's a really difficult cycle to be stuck in. But if you're able to really put yourself in that mindset of, I can't control what people do. I know personally, I need to social distance. I know personally, I need to wash my hands every single time I feel like it, if that's what it takes. You know, you can control the things that you can do. And by doing those things that you're able to do is what gets you that control back and kind of breaks that cycle for you.
Yeah. I was thinking about it right here in like the middle of going to what we can control, how we follow the CDC recommendations for ourselves. One of my favorite things right now that I really, really love is there's a website, I think it's called washyourlyrics.com, that was developed by this awesome teenager whose name I believe is William Gibson. I'll correction corners myself tomorrow or the next time if I'm wrong on that, where it makes you a graphic using the lyrics of your favorite song that shows exactly 20 seconds of those lyrics. So for Amy and I, we of course like love the Golden Girls, both of us. So we have one of the Golden Girls theme song for 20 seconds. My aunt was really into Raspberry Beret or Little Red Corvette as her hand washing songs. What are some of yours, Amy?
The Golden Girls was literally the one that came to mind. Every single time I do it now, I think of that meme and I'm like, oh my gosh, the Golden Girls. And for those of you who don't know, I don't go to bed at night without having the Golden Girls playing in the background. I cannot sleep without it. So the fact that I can also wash my hands to the theme song of this Golden Girls theme song is just, it's amazing. I rule my life by the Golden Girls. I was using Golden Girls playing cards last night as my self-care.
We played Golden Girls Clue like the last time we had a social hangout.
We did. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
So it's definitely a way to like reinfuse something that's important to us into like what's otherwise a really frustrating and kind of ridiculous task. I don't know about you, but I was getting real sick of the happy birthday song, like so sick of it. So I'm glad that we were able to adapt. Another thing that we are able to control that I think is really important is turning off the news. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, I think that there's something to be said about society fueling panic. We live in a scary time right now, but there's no need to make it scarier. And something that you can do to get control back over that is turn the TV off, because you can't control what the newscasters are going to say, but you can control whether or not you listen to it and whether or not you hear it all the time. I usually check BBC News in the morning, and I've stopped doing that so much because I know that I'm going to open some sort of link that's got coronavirus information in it, even if I'm not going to the website strictly to find coronavirus information. I like to just kind of know what's going on every day as my day starts. But I've stopped doing that so much because I don't want to feed into that. And I don't want to be doing that to myself, and I don't want to be doing that to my partner. So I've stopped checking the news as often. I still check the news. I still follow it. I need to know what's going on, but I don't check about coronavirus, and I don't really talk about it with people just because I don't think that we need to give it more power than it already has.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good boundary that I've tried to put up too, is talking about coronavirus at length and how it's impacting people long term. For work, I can focus on it a little bit, but in my personal life, I've established a boundary that I just don't want to have those conversations. And with like news consumption, something that we decided today during our team meeting as like a healthy boundary, there's a couple people on our team, including me, who really trying to absorb all of the information that's being thrown at us is super, super overwhelming. So Amy is going to kind of take the lead on filtering in what we really need to know and passing that on if any additional things develop without us all trying to absorb all of this information. So we're kind of like having some balance there, which I think is going to be really helpful.
And setting boundaries and making balance is like the number one way that you can get control over those areas of your life you feel powerless in. So, we were all super like, there's so much information. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to process all of this right now. And I was like, you don't need to. I'll take care of it because I know somebody else is going to do something else along the way. We have an awesome coworker who decided that they were going to get all of our county resources together and send it out mass email so that we didn't all have to get bogged down figuring out who resources were in this time. And that was so incredibly helpful. So a boundary that I've been able to create is don't worry about it. I'll take care of the COVID information. I'll disseminate what we need to know, and then you don't have to worry about it. Because that's a boundary that I feel okay doing, and it's a boundary that I feel safe and secure in, but I would have been very overwhelmed if I'd had to figure out every single resource in the 4 counties we serve. So, it's picking and choosing what you can do in order to maintain your own sanity and in order to assist the people around you, because it doesn't feel good to have to leave people hanging, but in order to take care of yourself, that you do have to set some hard boundaries sometimes.
Yeah, especially with social distancing, wanting to help. A lot of us in the profession we're in, we're natural helpers. So when I'm looking at how to control my own social distancing, which I can control me, but I can't control other people, I've had to get really creative in brainstorming ways to continue to help people. Sometimes it's as simple as placing an Instacart order for grocery delivery, but sometimes it's even as simple as just calling someone and letting them know that you've been thinking about them. I've been doing a lot of that with people that I haven't seen since college, and it's really something that just remembering we're all out there and we're all in this together can give us so much sense of community and like ownership of a situation back, whether or not we're able to physically connect. What are
Yeah,
some
and
of the things you do at home, Amy?
what?
Some of the fun things you're doing at home.
Well, I talked about it yesterday. Animal Crossing came out on the 20th, so I've been playing a whole lot of that. But I've been making sure I've been going on runs with my partner and my dogs every single day. I think much to the happiness of my partner, I'm starting to, for lack of a better phrase, burn through my candle supply. I have a ladder drawer system, and it was for our pets, like harnesses and treats, and now it holds all of my candles because I couldn't bring myself to put them in our basement. But I'm burning through them now, literally. So I've already knocked one candle out, and I'm halfway through another one. So I've been burning my candles at home, and it sounds so silly, but I love walking into a room, and right now I'm burning a fir, like a fir tree candle, and it smells so good. And it's super silly, but it's also something that really sets my day off to a good start when I walk in there with my fresh cup of coffee and my candle's already been burning for a couple of minutes. So my room smells super fresh, and I've got the windows open so I get to play with the cats in the windows, and it's just awesome. So it's really finding the little things to do. There's not it's not fun to clean, so I'm not even going to throw that on the list and pretend, because I don't like doing chores. But I like to burn my candles. I like to play Animal Crossing. I like to watch TV with my partner. Last night we played Golden Girls cards. The day before that we played Mexican Train with my old domino set from my grandma. So it's really just a lot of getting back to your roots, really, because when you have the ability to be going out into the public, and you have the ability to be with friends or on your phone or whatever it is you do, you kind of forget all of those things. And I haven't played Mexican Train in years, and I forgot what a fun game it is. And because we're social distancing, and because we've set a no phone rules at night, we've really been able to kind of get back to our roots together, and also to get back to our roots as who we are as people and what we like to do. What about you, Mitch?
My big thing right now is, like I told so many people, my grandmother, she was a major quilter. That was like her hobby. And she was one of the most resilient people I know. So, like, in trying to tap into some of her energy, I took up hand quilting. And so I've been sewing like these little heart shaped quilt blocks to try and make, I keep calling it my Corona quilt. Like that's what it's gonna be. So I've taken that up. And conversely to what you were saying, Amy, I love cleaning when I'm stressed because I feel like I'm taking control and I'm doing something. My physical environment means so much to me, especially when I'm feeling really anxious. Being in an environment where I can't find what I'm looking for, or there's little tumbleweeds of Riley fur drifting by, can get under my skin and make it worse really fast. So like today I took the time to take some time to go through things and put some stuff away. I've been doing a lot of random craft projects, so I've had a lot of random art supplies drifting in and out of my studio, and so getting those back together really helped. Getting one pile of laundry instead of multiple piles of laundry really helps me feel better. And I collected like all of the reusable containers that I have and made sure they were all washed and like put them away in order so that like when I need them, I can just grab one without having to worry about it. And that makes me feel a lot better. Everyone's different though, but that's definitely something that I find helpful, if not fun. Like I said though, I've been playing a ton of The Sims because life is much more normal in there than it is out here right now, which feels very odd to say, but is totally true. And you can't neglect to talk about the puppy cuddles and the extra adventures with the puppy.
Yeah,
it's so great. She's
yeah.
winning.
There's definitely something to be said about having that creature that keeps you company. You have seen every single meeting we have had since we've started working from home. I have had at least one of my animals in the background, if not all four of them. So there's definitely something to be said about cuddling with your pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are just, some of the ways that you can really take back a sense of control in your situation. It's really helpful, I think, for a lot of us to think about what comes next. There's not a lot of certainty, and we don't know how long this will last, and we can't really predict what will happen. But there are some things that we know to be true, like spring is coming, and when the flowers start blooming, we're going to be able to go out and see them. Easter is still happening, and even if we're mobile ordering Reese's peanut butter egg season, baby, like we're right in it. And I have been ordering them in just about every grocery order because it gives me a sense of normalcy for what this season usually is for us. We still observed St. Patrick's Day, even though we couldn't be together. My mom made a corned beef dinner and dropped off a dinner on my porch. So I imagine we're going to do the same for Easter, even if we can't be together. So those are things to look forward to that are going to happen no matter what. There's also, finding ways that you can be of service to others and that you can help, like that, finding your kindness and your grace. I know I am hoping to start this weekend making masks out of cotton fabric to donate to our fabulous first responders and a lot of the nonprofit organizations, including ours, that are still in a position where they have to have some face-to-face interaction. So that's a way that I can give back without putting myself in a situation that wouldn't necessarily be safe for me. What are some ways that you've thought about giving back during this too, Amy?
So there are a lot of donation clothing bins that aren't being gone through right now because a lot of parishes have had to shut down, and they're doing a lot of online churches and stuff. So my thought was trying to see if those churches would have any interest in us kind of going through all of their donation bins and getting all of it packed up together. I used to do it. I'm a cradle Catholic. I went to Catholic school when I was a little kid, and one of the volunteering things I used to do was I would hop right in that donation bin and I would sort through all of the clothing and get it all tidied up and put in boxes and get it squared away. So we've been talking about maybe reaching out to there, making some donations, getting things sorted out, just ways to serve our community and let them know that there are still people out there and there is still hope.
I think that's awesome. I hadn't even thought about that. Something that our supervisor talked about too, we were discussing having at-home little card making sessions. I know you are the queen of stationery and stickers. So finding ways to create mail to send to people who are disconnected right now. Mm-hmm. And places where visitation is completely shut down, can we send things that are, going to cheer people up in otherwise not bright situations, making sure, of course, that things are able to be sent without spreading germs, of course, is a priority.
Use a sponge to seal your envelopes.
Yes, that's a good tip. And just make sure that you don't cough into the envelope before you send it, I guess.
Do you make a habit of doing that, Mitch?
Not usually, but who knows? Anything can happen. But that's a way to take a little bit of control back, is to do something to help others.
Yeah. So leave your ideas below for us. We're going to put some information in our description. We're going to put the handle to our Instagram, to our agency's website, and then we're going to continue every single video. We're going to put the hotline numbers in there so you've got access to those. But if you're looking forward to anything, or you've seen signs of spring, or you've got any ideas of how to give back to your community, leave it below. And we will be touching base with you guys again soon.
So good to see you. Take care out there.
Bye.